Welcome to the table. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we are going to be doing another deck tech video for Commander Masters for Pauper Commander with a pretty fun Pauper Commander deck. Now, I was going to build soon anyways, so why not just let my dad play it now? But before we get into the deck tech, just got to remind you super quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. You won't regret it. And for all that aside, let's get into the video. So what's this commander that I was going to brew up anyways, just like within the next couple of sets? It's Hamza, Guardian of Arashin. I don't know why I didn't say that dramatic entrance in my last deck tech with Goreclaw, but whatever. But Hamza, this card, this deck is like functionally the same thing as Goreclaw, just more complicated. Possibly a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse, because this guy like really holds the deck together, whereas Goreclaw's like it holds the deck together, but you can still kind of do what you want to do without it, just less efficiently. With Hamza, it's like, what does Hamza do? It's 4 a green and white, so already way more expensive than Goreclaw, but it's a 5/5 Elephant Warrior. Who doesn't want to play an Elephant Warrior as your commander? But anyways, it costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control for 1 counter on it. And you may be thinking to yourself, okay, what's the big deal? If you don't know what Sailor's Bane is, it's a blue Pauper commander that you can play that costs 1 less for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard and each adventure card in the exile zone. That card is one of the best Pauper commanders in Pauper Commander because it almost always costs 2 blue to play and gets around commander tax, so it will always cost 2 blue to play. With this card, it's pretty similar, costing usually 1 green and 1 white if you got enough of like your plans working. So yeah, it's like, wow. And the bonus about this card is, because it's like, okay, you can get a 1 green and 1 white 5/5, not a huge deal, but it also makes every other creature you play costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with 1 counter on it. So yeah, not busted at all. Now let's see why this deck's more complicated. We got, holy crap, I forgot how many creatures were in this deck. Supply runners, puts a 1 counter on each creature. Really good with Hamza. Whenever another green creature enters, put a 1 counter on a creature. It can get 4 1/1 counters on it. It can get tons of counters on it. It can get a counter on it. It can get a counter on it, and others. Well, no, just a counter on it. Counter on it. Counter on it. Counter. I mean, I guarantee not all of these cards put counters on stuff, but it's like you see a lot of stuff that says +1/+1 and counter right afterwards. So I think you're kind of getting the gist of the deck. And also, you might have saw a couple of the cards that said it. Tuskguard Captain. Each creature with 1 counter on it has trample. I saw this one the other day, and I'm so mad that I didn't put it in one of my dad's decks from the Scry deck, the Scry Tribal deck, because that card would have worked great in it. Pridemalkin. You know what else would have worked great in it? Oh yeah, Deepwood Denizen. 1 green tap, draw a card most of the time. That's awesome. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? It was in here. There we go. Gnarlid Colony. Same thing. And it's so good. Duskshell Crawler. Also awesome. And just all like the 2-mana creatures that say when they enter, put a 1 counter on a creature, and they're 1/1s, they're all the same. And you got like every single one in the deck. There's like 8. So it's like basically every creature in the deck either puts a 1/1 counter on something or cares about 1/1 counters. So anyways, getting into the next bit, you just got ramp and card advantage and protection stuff and fight spells. in a lot of ways very similar to my other deck, just my deck doesn't have protection in it. Which is probably a bad thing for me. Anyways, also putting counters on stuff. But yeah, this deck basically is the same thing, except you put one with counters on stuff instead of play big creatures. You give those big guys either trample or just smash your opponent's face until the end of time and space itself. Also, the cards in the deck cost way less to cast. I mean, look at that. The mana curve is so much prettier versus my other deck, which is just like, it's just like, let's back here, down there, and then just straight to the moon with 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 plus drops. But with this deck, the deck, like all the cards in the deck cost way less. I mean, there's only, the 4 drops don't really matter as much because that 1/6 is your commander. There's only 2 cards in the deck that cost more than 4 mana besides your commander, which costs less anyways. And it's like, sweet. So yeah, the deck is just like play tons of creatures that put one counters on stuff or get counters or just proliferate or just ramp you. Play ramp, play fight, play more ramp, play some card advantage here and there, play a couple of protection spells because, hey, your commander is like the most important card in the deck and you kind of have to have him out or the deck kind of sucks. It doesn't. But the commander really helps because it can make like everything cost 1 and 2 and 3 mana, which is really busted. And then there's the mana base, which is way more complicated than mine. Just card advantage everywhere, like actually everywhere, and putting counters on stuff. And it's just like, yeah, the deck's fun. Also, gotta mention this too. Where's the price of the thing? 3 visits, can take it out, put in another copy of Nature's Lore. That costs $3 less dollars. Making it basically a $15 deck. So yeah, this deck costs less than my Goreclaw deck, but I think the Goreclaw deck is slightly better, but this deck can be way more explosive and in a lot of ways more fun. Because all your creatures are giant, but they originally weren't. You keep scaling them up, which is fun in my opinion. But like, the Timmy side of you comes out a bit in this deck. But, I mean, the Goreclaw deck, it's just like, you play the big things and I don't know. This deck is very good. The Goreclaw deck is very similar, I think slightly better. Both decks are going to be an absolute cluster to play against each other, but we're gonna figure it out. So anyways, with all that aside, give a big round of applause to Hamza and Goreclaw as they beat the living crap out of one another, dealing 80 plus damage to each other in one single turn or something like that, and fighting all their creatures and just doing stupid stuff. But wait for the gameplay to come out, see that stupid stuff, and until then, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, you won't regret it. And for all that aside, thanks for watching everybody, and have a great rest of your day.